Looks like Calypso's got himself another driver for this year's contest.
The Twisted Metal franchise is a veteran when it comes to car combat. The latest in the series is the 8th installment, and it has legendary creator David Jaffe behind the wheel, and it's called Twisted Metal. Once again, a bunch of no-good, downright evil characters will enter a to-the-death car combat tournament run by the sinister Calypso. The prize to have one wish granted of their choosing.
Take me to her now!
Your wish is granted.
Unlike previous games, the single-player campaign focuses on the stories of 3 main characters, Sweet Tooth, Mr. Grimm, and Dollface, which are told through some pretty gruesome live-action cutscenes.
She was a fighter.
Each character has access to all the vehicles in the game and carries with them a gang of nasties to help out. You'll drive and blast your way through a series of increasingly difficult maps, some with hard-to-find health or tricky pitfalls, and challenges like a constantly relocating cage you must try and stay within the boundaries of or you'll start taking damage.
You are outside the cage. Grace period initiated.
Your first barrier in this game are the controls, which take ages to get used to. It just feels so unnatural with square to go forwards and double tap circle for reverse. Double tap circle, I had to look that up online. Just how to reverse in this game.
You looked it up online?
Yeah.
Why don't you just do the tutorial?
I haven't got time for tutorials, Hex. Get into the action.
It took me a little while to get used to it as well, plus double tap square plus tip the controller forward using the 6-axis to get a boost followed by a dash boost. It's all a bit weird.
They have made use of every button on this controller though to handle all of your weapons, mines and shields.
Well, I definitely recommend jumping into the training mode first, just to get a handle of the controls. It'll save you a lot of floundering around in the first couple of maps or internet searches, because a lot of the controls just won't come naturally to you. Each car has its own regenerating special weapon that has a cooldown, but to activate it you have to cycle through your weapons with R1, then hit triangle, then R2 to fire.
Yeah, I cancelled it all the time by accident, but they do look great, don't they? Sweet Tooth's ice cream van transforms into a kind of Autobot that flies. There's a hearse that shoots coffins, an ambulance that turns a hospital bed into a controllable missile, and a vast array of guns and rockets to be fired from all angles.
The cars actually handle really well, I thought, although I was a little bit rubbish in that helicopter. I'm not usually the best driver in games, but Twisted Metal is one of the few games I feel really at home in a vehicle. It's ridiculously fun. Smashing through buildings and walls, being driven over by tanks, driving off the most ridiculous heights, you seem virtually indestructible. When your health does get low though, you can pick up health packs or get air off the back of a health semi-trailer for a full recharge.
Vehicle health restored.
Most of the single-player maps let you choose between 3 or so vehicles to have at your disposal. So if one gets particularly beaten up, you can get yourself to a garage to repair it or swap it out with one of the others. The vehicle selection I thought was excellent. There's about 15 or so cars to choose from, and you can even customize their paint jobs if you want to be creative. Challenges range from races that require you to arm and set off bombs attached to enemy vehicles, or taking out juggernaut semi-trailers that spawn enemies. Choosing the right vehicle for the right challenge is often the key to victory.
You have won the battle.
But mostly you'll be fighting it out in an arena, hoping to be the last one standing.
I didn't really enjoy these campaign challenges much, Badge. I mean, I thought they were reasonably creative, but they're often just a real slog to get through, not to mention some pretty tedious boss battles. And you have to play through it if you have any hope of unlocking some decent vehicles for multiplayer.
Yeah, I found the campaign tough going. I just didn't really enjoy engaging with this AI, and to be honest, after the first death, I kind of wanted to stop.
Yeah, and also, while I have no real issue with live-action cutscenes, I thought the attempt at story here was pretty weak, with some crappy writing as well.
The hospital just wasn't really working for her.
I want to say it serves a purpose, but for me, it doesn't really, because once I'm in there and driving around, I'm just a faceless vehicle anyway. I don't really care who's driving it or what their apparent motivations are.
I thought the cutscenes bookended the chapters nicely, and I think fans of the series will get a kick out of learning the backstories behind iconic characters like Sweet Tooth.
It reminded me of how I hated him. How I hated being him. His stupid little life. That stupid little job.
But at the end of the day, I probably could have done without them. This is really about the multiplayer, and that's where I had the most fun.
Yes, you can play locally via LAN, split screen, and of course online with up to 16 players. There are some maps where you'll really just need to be on top of your health because the game is fast-paced and brutal. When you get caught in a manic scrap with a bunch of cars, things can get pretty dire very fast.
You can unlock primary weapons such as mounted guns or a magnum, but the real damage comes from missiles, rockets and grenades that you pick up around the map.
Using these in conjunction with shields and freeze weapons will allow you to pound a decent amount of damage into enemy vehicles as you recklessly tear around the map. I especially loved shotgunning a car, Hex. Shotgunning a car!
I'd burn through my entire arsenal really quickly trying to throw everything I had at one guy for a quick takedown and then get caught up racing around trying to replenish my ammo or get to a garage for repairs, and that's when I'd be targeted and that's when I'd be the most vulnerable. But I love those little touches, like after you take a guy down, if you manage to run over his flaming escaping driver, then you get an extra health bonus. It's a great incentive to be a jerk, if you need any more incentive in this game, which you don't.
I like preying on the weak. I liked the range of maps and locations, Hex. Some were seriously frustrating though, with rotating ramps and lava pits. So much is destructible, and there's such a joy to be had from just burning through terrain as you skid around and turn on a dime, guns are blazing.
Yeah, I think my favourite moments when we were just landing and playing one-on-one, ripping around the city in pursuit of each other. There's a real sense of freedom, and pitting wacky combinations of vehicles against each other just made for some hilarious battles.
So what are you giving it, Hex?
Look, I really didn't enjoy the single-player campaign. It's just not my idea of a good time, but I had some seriously gleeful moments in multiplayer, which I agree is what Twisted Metal is all about. I think fans of the franchise will get exactly what they're looking for out of this. I'm giving it 7 out of 10 rubber chickens.
I loved the original. I played so much of it as a kid, and all these wacky characters, like the guy with the wheels.
Axel.
Yeah.
I remember that because that's my dad's name. I'm not kidding.
He's a weird character, and they brought back so many memories for me, but I think that's part of the problem. It's almost too nostalgic and not evolved enough. I still had a good time though. I'm giving it 7.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.